close the night out right. Panel at the table in that half-dead light. Miss Robin in the middle, calling every shot, directing and producing, till the story runs hot. 1-1 from the city, badge heavy on his chest, towing that law like a wicked chain, spitting facts, no rest. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. DJ in the corner, state of the deep in his head. Which lies to toss and which ones to keep instead. Dago from the cafe says forget about it. Leans back, spins his thoughts like a blade cutting holes in the track. Lee at the front, head advocate, steady stare. Every word like a warning, every silence a dare. All of them leaning in, clock crawling, eyes bright. Every secret feels louder than the buzzing of the night. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. You can bury it in paper, you can lock it in a file, but the truth bleeds through, drip by drip, tile by tile. We're dragging it to daylight, name by name, line by line. If you wrote it in the shadows, we'll read it out this time. Yeah. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite.
All right, welcome to A Crimes After Dark on Saturday night. I'm very, very low key, and it's kind of a low, slow night. So this is a great night to join Robin and I. Like we have like no panel tonight. Our panelists are all gone. It's just Robin and I. It's low key. You're still muted, by the way. So be careful about your muting, because I think you're muted. Now you're open. So how you doing, Robin?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
It's just you and me, man. We do have no
Hey,
panel. It's
that's
a
all
weird
right.
night. It'd be great if we had some bigger audience participation, questions, comments, guests coming up
Yeah,
on the screen. Let's make sure the invite is out there, because yeah,
let me go throw it out
just
there.
low key energy at the moment. So we need to pick me up, a shot in the ass or something
There we
like that.
go.
So welcome to
Well,
another Crimes After Dark. Yeah, there's we don't have any big news. I've been out all day long. I just got back to the house a little bit ago. I tried to get a quick power nap in, and I think that just killed all energy I might have had coming in. So sometimes it rejuvenates, and sometimes it goes the opposite direction, like I'm dragging ass. So anyways, great night to ask a question. If you guys want to ask a question or talk one-on-one,
yeah,
come up on the microphone, be even better.
yeah,
Looking
come
very
join.
snug. Yeah, it is actually chilly over here. It's very, very cold. There was snow this morning. Believe it or not, I had snow this morning. I drove in the snow, sleet and ice balls falling on me. It was unpleasant as far as temperature goes. But
Yeah.
still had a good time today. But yeah, it wasn't the best weather. Very, very cold.
Wonder
What else do we
why.
got? Let's see.
Yeah, where is spring? I want to know where is spring? Yeah. So, well,
yeah. So
but it's
like
good
I
to
said,
see everybody in the chat, and so thank you very much. I want to say thank you, for all the gifts and stuff you guys were sending last night with the little jewels, and we're still getting on to that kind of, and
yeah.
so, but it's not that we don't appreciate it. It's just it's a new thing, so we're but thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
I'm pulling it up, so I think I can watch it on the back end studio, or do I have to be watching my live to see it? I don't even know.
You have to
Because
be
the new
watching the live because it pops up and it shows like the little dancing dogs and the
yeah.
what all the little characters are, which are really cool. I think that's really fun. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I told you
yeah.
I was low energy. Holy crap, I don't know if we can do
Wait
this. This might
the
be
hell up,
this
DA.
might be a lower night, man. I don't know if I can pull this whole show. I need
I'll
some
just start doing
audience.
karaoke, whatever. I
Well,
don't
there you
care.
go. Yeah, we can just do that. Yeah. My new channel had a new video come out today. Everything's slow over there
Yes.
as well. So I'm
That was
trying
a
different
great
things.
video.
Yeah.
Now I want to watch that show.
Oh, it's a great show. It's a great show, but it's deep. It's deep, man. But yeah, I got lots of stuff planned. Just got to get the energy to get there. Okay, I have a question. How'd you two meet? That's a good question.
Well, we discovered you and started watching and joined your Discord. And when I found out that you had done some writing and things like that, just started talking to you about your writing
Oh yeah.
and kind of went from there. And then I just finally bullied my way in and said, I'll help you with your channel.
Yeah, it was very cool. Yeah, I forgot that we
Yeah.
kind of connected on writing first.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's how it happened.
Yeah, Angel Girdings. I know I'm slaughtering that. Thank you for loving the new channel. By the way, the new channel, it's hard for me because I don't know whether to I've got 3 videos, and all 3 videos on the new channel are so different from each other that I'm not sure that anybody can identify what the channel is yet. So that's the hard part, is like whatever video you came on with, it may not be the same style as the next. Actually, the style is kind of the same, but the topics are very, very different. So I'm glad that there's a few people that are listening to the new channel or watching the new channel, and they say they like it. So thank you so much for that.
It's really, really good. Yeah, we're really enjoying it. So, Sally wants to know if I think 2 people did harm. Oh, there's definitely at least 2. In my view, there was 4. In order to contain everybody, do everything that needed to be done. I mean, all the cleanup and everything else. I definitely think there was at least two people, because neither one of those. You have to remember. I know Maddie she was pretty darn tipsy and whatever, but still, none of those young people were weak people, and Kaylee was a very, very feisty person, and so in order to contain people properly, there was definitely at least 2. Yeah.
New News Weekly says, I have a question. Do you both think that all scenarios on Idaho 4 point to Dylan? Almost every scenario that I can think of has Dylan involved in some way because of Dylan's actions, in my opinion. But yeah, do I think Dylan was the anyways, I would say the simple answer is yes. I think all scenarios that I've entertained, Dylan's actions seem to be involved somehow in that. Good question.
Yes.
And again, those are opinions. We're not making statements in case people are thinking we're making accusations and victim shaming and all that shit. It's just that's a fair question. Like we're having a coffee table discussion. And if you ask me personally what I think she's probably involved at the heart of many of all the scenarios I can think of.
Yeah.
I noticed. I was surprised at the number of people in here that said that the new channel is awesome, that they're watching the new channel, because I didn't think the numbers don't show many people have seen the new channel. So it's cool that there are people watching the new channel.
Than you think, I guess.
Yeah. So very cool. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I need all the help I can get to try to get that channel going. I want to find some things that people are interested in hearing about. So so when I find my groove and I find the things that people are most interested in hearing me talk about, then it'll kind of settle into its own routine. But right now I'm kind of trying different things, seeing what sticks with people. DA and Robin, do you think there a teaser was one of the, or taser, a taser? Do you think a taser was one of the weapons used? I have no reason to think that. Crime Spy, what do you think, Robin? Do you have any reason to think that a taser was used? I mean, other than I understand where people would get it, like the flash of light that maybe the Bethany.
Well, you're not going to see a taser though from Bethany's room,
right? That's
if it's
the problem.
Upstairs
right.
on second floor. You're not going to see a taser. Now, we don't know what all was really used, because now we've got this whole thing about a round puncture, possible taser marks. But the problem is they're not releasing any of the actual official autopsy report. I mean, we have these preliminary things, but nothing that's going to tell us every single mark on their body, like a normal autopsy report would do. So I don't think a taser was used, but I'm still of the opinion I'm not going to rule anything out at this point, because we just don't have enough information.
Brad Harris asked if it's true that Bethany Funk has been back to Moscow several times. I have heard those rumors that she has been back.
No, she has been.
Okay, yeah.
I've heard it.
I've heard it over again. I've never done it. Yeah.
Well, Bubbly has shown, like on social media, she has shown posts where Bethany has been back in Idaho at least like 3 or 4 times. So so we've seen pictures of her on social media. So she was, but going back there socially is different than going back there being forced into court. So, but she has been back.
Yeah, and Jake from State Pharmaceuticals, so the bottom of the K-bar has a steel pommel. That's a weapon on its own, matches the circle with a stripe, according to Steve Gonzalez. It has a notch in the middle. I'm not convinced I've ever heard Steve Gonzalez explain something to the level that I think that he can identify the weapon. I think he said a lot of things and they conflict sometimes. So I'm not personally convinced. I'm not even convinced a K-bar was used in the commission of the crime, but because I think even Dr. Turvey said there's nothing that proves that a K-bar was used. And I've heard a million different explanations about what they think was said about Kaylee's wounds and how it matches a golf club, how it matches this, or how it matches that. And I don't know that anybody's got enough information, because we haven't seen enough information to definitively say that it is one thing or not another. That's my problem. That's my problem with the whole thing.
Right. And that's where those autopsy reports would, come in handy there, so that we could draw inference as far as to what all weapons were used, because it was, in my view, in my opinion, it wasn't just one weapon.
Yeah. Essie watched the new episode and didn't leave a comment. Well, shame on you, damn it. Anyways, just kidding. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the episode. Like I said, I'm all over the place with very, very different topics. I've talked about Aurora, Colorado, which was a long time ago. I talked about Westworld and the esoteric Gnostic interpretation of that series. I've talked about aliens and disclosure. And so there's a lot of weird stuff going on. It's kind of a hodgepodge of a bunch of stuff. New here. This is from City Sue. New here, so forgive me if this question has already been answered. I want to know more about the person in the upstairs bathroom window the door dasher saw. Why was that person ducking? Who was it? Well, so first of all, we have to take into consideration that trusting anything Molly says, you have to take with a grain of salt. But if Molly did see a female in the upstairs window that was ducking down whenever she would look up there, and there's reasons to question whether or not she really did see that. But if she did see that, which I think she could have, I've got theories about who it was, but I don't want to say, because I don't like to. But I have no proof of anything about my gut reaction, and so I try to be careful about saying who I think it was. But it does indicate. Here's what I'll say about that: that there was dark hair ripped out by the roots in the bed with Maddie and Kaylee that doesn't match their hair, and it doesn't match Brian Koberger. I would say that there is a good possibility that Molly did perhaps see a female that was upstairs, and that female's hair is in the bed. Now, who that female is, I probably have said it before, but I try to not say it real super often, because I just don't have the receipts for it, and I don't like repeatedly saying something when I don't have the receipts for it. But it's a great question.
Yep. And welcome. We're glad that you are, stopped by the channel, stopped into the den. So welcome, City Soup.
Somebody wants our channel names in there so that they can see the channel names on our new yeah, we both have channels. So I will paste my name in here if you want to paste your name in there for your channel.
Yep, I will do that. Let me grab mine real quick here.
That's my new alt. I call it my alt channel. I also call it the Beyond channel. So it's the Devil's Advocates Beyond. That's my channel where I'm going to be doing a lot of weird stuff, esoteric stuff, numerology, occultism, symbolism, philosophy, all kinds of stuff kind of mixed together as other topics that I find super interesting. Thanks for asking. Boy, we're low key, but we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Let's see.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Anybody wants to come up, by the way, too?
Maybe you're low key, but I'm not.
The one and only Mert says, I love religion history. It was brilliant to tie it into that series. Oh yeah, I could talk for days. I used to have a TikTok channel called Gnostic Buddha, and I talked a lot about the blending of Gnosticism and Buddhism in Eastern philosophy and how it relates to the Western Bible. And it was cool. I loved that channel, but I had my own group of people over there that I was interacting with, completely different than YouTube. And when I moved to YouTube, of course, I moved from more of the religion philosophical side to true crime. So a lot of that stuff, that kind of same kind of mentality will show up in the new channel, the alt channel. Somebody asks here, Just Ducky says, if you could ask BK one question, what would it be? Well, I would say this. I have asked Brian Koberger many questions in letters. So asking the question is not the problem. I think what you really mean is if I could have him answer truthfully one question, what would it be? And I guess if I were going to ask him one question and I knew the answer was going to be truthful, I would say, were you even there that night? That would be my number one question, because I don't know that he was there. If he was there, I still don't think it happened the way that they said it did. But I think if you were to say what would be the one question I'd want to know, ask him if I knew that I could get the answer, it would be, were you even there? But yeah. Who do you think? Sally Shepherdson or Shepherdson? Sorry, Sally Shepherdson says, whose hair or who do you think is hair is in Ethan's hand? Again, very, very difficult for me to answer the question, because I don't want to put names out there that, one, don't have enough receipts, and two, I'd have to double check their own hair color on the suspects that I think were maybe involved in this, and make sure that their hair color matches what I see in the photo. So it would take a little bit of work on my part. I have suspects in my mind who I think were possibly involved in the murder. And again, keep in mind, there's several different motives for what happened in the murders. Robin and I, in fact, have long entertained the idea that there could be a possibility of a perfect storm, that more than one thing happened that night. And that's part of the confusion, yes, is that it might have been more than one thing that happened in that same night. And so that makes it even more hard, because was it even one thing that happened? I don't know.
Right. And that's still my contention, is that it's not quite as simple as, unfortunately, law enforcement and, prosecution wants it to be. It's many things coming, kind of coalescing, and so that's what I think about that.
JC Fitzpatrick says, I want to hear more about the interdimensional beings. Very cool. That's on the Beyond channel. I'll talk about that. I would like to, I'll be very, very brief. I won't talk about it over here, but I will have to say that I feel like I have had my own interactions with things, but we'll keep that for the other channel. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, did somebody send a floating heart that I missed? I thought I turned on the channel so I could watch our GIFs, and I didn't see it. Oh, well.
Yeah. I didn't see it come across, because I'm doing the same thing. I didn't see it come across either, but that doesn't mean anything.
Jake for State Farm says, Devil's Advocates, have you tried e-messaging Koberger on his tablet? I haven't yet. Rhonda, my wife, She Devil, has signed up for the app, and she said it costs money, and she hasn't loaded her account with money. I told her that my company, if you want to say it, we'll put some money on the books if she wants to try to reach out to him. So we'll see. I've written a ton of letters. All went with unresponded. I don't know that, although I have to say that watching some of the stuff that made it into the beginning of every chapter of Christopher Wickham's book, maybe I understand Brian Koberger's psychology a little bit more. Maybe if I were to write Koberger again, I would probably take a different approach after all the things that I'm starting to think I get to know about Brian Koberger. I'd probably take a little different approach than I did the first times. If you're interested, by the way, if at all interested in seeing all the letters that I wrote, to Brian Koberger, if you're a member of it, there's a member only content. You can type in letters to Brian, and there's a ton of letters. I read all the letters that I sent to Brian. I read them word for word to everybody on members only, so you can see what I was writing to him, with hopes that he would write back and that I would talk about what he wrote back, but never got response back. But lots of letters are on the members only content. All right.
Yep. There's a ton of good stuff in the members only content. So
Crime Spy says, DA and Robin, this channel is just wonderful. All of your panelists are terrific. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. We've been building a thing for the long time, a really long time. So I think our panel's got some specialness going on, and I really enjoy it. I know that it's a job sometimes. Like, we're on here every night, except for Sunday. We take tomorrow night off. But thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, my energy is so low. I'm trying to. Did we send the link out so people could join us if they want to join us? You probably did. I'm sure.
Yes,
I keep asking you.
But no, I think this is good. I'm enjoying everybody's questions. I love seeing all these names in the chat. We see we're really developing some kind of super fans, I think, is what I think. So
Sanaj Napaj, 1970. I probably slaughtered that word or that name, but I find it strange that the dumpster outside the house was full, but all the others on body cam were empty. Did they test? I have not seen anything. There's body camera footage where they talk about the dumpsters, and it's aggravating. They talk about, I'm going to go back and check that dumpster again. I've went over there a bunch of times, but all that's in there is trash. I'm like, that's usually what is in a dumpster is trash. But anyways, it was like they didn't really spend a lot of time looking for, say, a murder weapon or bloody clothes. They're like, I looked in there and it just looked like trash to me. And I'm like, yeah, because even if somebody threw something away that was important, they might have put it in a trash bag and dumped it in there. Like, it didn't seem like they really spent a lot of time with the trash. I don't know that they ever collected the trash from the dumpsters. They should have, but I don't know that they did.
Yeah, I don't know.
And in fact,
either.
I think if they did do it, I would say,
like
I suspect the timing. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to step on you.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. No problem.
Your image is frozen, though. Your image is frozen. What's the other channel name?
Yeah,
the other channel name is
tab.
The Devil's Advocates Beyond. At The Devil's Advocates Beyond is the other channel's name. Thank you for asking. This is a great night for questions. Keep them coming. The questions are the only thing keeping us going right now, is all the questions, because I don't have anything in particular to talk about, other than I do get more and more people asking me if I'm going to cover Alex Murdaugh's new trial, because he got his trial overturned. So I probably will cover Alex Murdaugh's new trial. I've got several people asking me to cover it, so I might do that, actually. And I'm keeping my eye on several other trials, like the one with the Sandra Bridgemore, I think it was.
Yeah, Birchmore.
Sorry. Wow, horrible.
Yeah. That's a sad case.
Nana Gallego says, if Ann Taylor's in charge, she's not letting him get any mail. I don't think she has the ability to stop him from getting mail. Now, no,
I don't think she can.
I mean, all inmates have a legal or a constitutional right to receive mail. You can't cut off their communication to the outside world, period. You can't. Now, can his attorney advise him? Can his attorney, maybe she could have gotten him some kind of like, hey, I recommend you let me see all your mail before you get it, kind of thing. I don't know that that's the case, but technically by law, nobody can keep him from getting his mail.
Right. I don't think they can do. I would certainly hope that they wouldn't do that. I mean,
Yeah, and Jake from State Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, they don't. A lot of places don't give people your actual letter. They scan it in part because people were doing things like smuggling in acid on the ink and stuff like that, so that they can get inmates high by just licking the letter you send them or something like that. So people were finding clever ways to smuggle things into the prison system through letters, and so they tend not to give people the actual letter. They scan it in digitally and give it to them digitally because people do weird shit, or they put perfume and shit on it, whatever. And yeah
you have to be careful about stuff like that.
Vicky says she's been
I'm
watching
sorry.
the channel for a while. That's okay. She just said that she likes the channel. She's been watching it for a while. Thank you so much. Somebody else says it's the best channel.
Thank you.
And I feel bad because I'm so low key tonight. I'm so low key compared to what I normally am. Usually more. Matter of fact, I usually get told like 5 times a night to let my shut the fuck up, DA, and let your panelists talk. Well, this is a great night because I'm pretty low key. Could the Crime Spy says, could Brian not be allowed to have contact with the outside? No, I don't believe that he can be permitted. He could be forbidden from having contact with the outside. He's allowed to do that if he wants to. Now, again, if he's following the advice of his attorney and his attorney tells him that it's in his best interest not to, he could follow the advice of his attorney. But if he wants to write, he can write. That's a constitutional right. Or right. I don't know if it's a constitutional right, but it's definitely a right that he has.
Right.
Maleficent says, does Brian have have tablet privileges? I would think so if he hasn't had any disciplinary issues. How do we reach him on the tablet? The website. I can't remember. My wife found the website last night for writing to him, and somebody else said they've been using the same thing. Unfortunately, she also laid down to take a nap, and she hasn't gotten back up again. So if she shows up, sometimes she shows up midway through the show. If she does, I'll ask her to tell you guys what the name of the app is that she found for using to contact Brian Koberger. And apparently, if he's online, you can see that he's online when he's online, which is interesting.
Somebody in here gave her the name of the app last night.
Yeah.
Getting out or something to that effect, I believe.
It was what? Something to what effect?
Something about getting out or.
Oh yeah, right.
Like that.
You're right. That does sound familiar. Yeah, getting.
Yeah.
I'm reading through the chat comments, so I'm just looking for stuff that we can pin and talk about. I thank you all for sacrificing. This is from Brandy Michelle. I thank you all for sacrificing. Being on nightly helps me out mentally by having good conversation to listen to. Well, that's great. I hope I'm not letting you down tonight because the conversation, like I said, is slow and low. Watch the tempo. So yeah, we're kind of slow and low tonight, but I am here, and I'm willing to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about.
We're here. Woohoo! No, it's always great seeing all you guys out there. You guys always have great questions, so keep them coming.
What are we chatting about tonight? We have no script. And in fact, we almost never have, we never have a script.
Anything and everything.
Sometimes we have a battle plan, but sometimes we have a topic. But tonight, no topic. This is Saturday night.
Yep, we're just
unwinding the week. Anything you want to talk about?
Q&A. Let's talk more about those aliens. No, I'm just kidding.
Blondie says, love the way you bring your info and put it up there. Don't pull the punches. Just tell it how you feel. I like to do that. I like to just, I go on rants about things that I'm passionate about. You know, if you've been here long enough. Let's see. Yeah. Kathy Zindy Jones says, even though Judge Hippler stopped unsealing 5 months ago, there is a lot of information on the docket from what he did unseal. Sometimes it could take second or third review to come up with a little more. I agree. There's a lot of stuff that if you go back and watch or listen or read now, you'll catch something now, because again, as we spend time bantering stuff around, you go back and you read something, you're like, oh, how did I not catch that? So yeah, we could be doing a lot of that. The problem is I'm also covering a lot of other cases and stuff like that too. So I'm ass deep in shit and I just can't keep up with it all at the moment, but I'm doing my best. We do all right here.
You do great. Don't sell yourself short, dude.
Nobody talks about the federal grand jury. We do from time to time talk about the federal grand jury. The problem with the federal grand jury is the federal grand jury was, of course, closed doors. You don't see it. Nobody really saw anything. And the only thing we know about the grand jury is what kind of got leaked by Patterson's book when James Patterson got a hold of one of the jurors on the grand jury. And they really probably weren't supposed to talk about it, but they did apparently. So there's not a lot we can talk about the grand jury other than the grand jury indicted. And according to what it sounds like from Peterson, one of the grand jurors at least thought that the grand jurors in general thought that Dylan and Bethany's testimony shouldn't be trusted and possibly should be investigated, I think. I've been saying that a lot, but I can't prove it. That's what we heard. But now I've said it so many times without receipts that I probably should get the receipts and prove it again. Are we going to cover David? We watched that case. So I've been keeping an eye on it. We've talked about it a few times on this show. But there's nothing big yet that caught my attention. So I am watching it. I'm watching several cases for the ones that catch my attention. I look for very specific things. I love focusing on cases that involve police corruption, prosecutorial overstepping or misconduct. I focus on the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in a court of law. So it's a little harder for me to cover cases where it's pretty foregone conclusion that you think you know who did it. I know that some of you think, well, then why are you covering Idaho 4? Everybody knows who did it. No, actually, in this case, that's not the case. But yeah, I do keep my eyes on several cases. So we're looking. Christine Wright says, really, is everything unsealed? No, I thought that's what the document dumps were. No, everything is not unsealed. No. So let me clarify how that works. So when the documents were sealed, the judge has to individually on every single piece of information unseal things. So it doesn't automatically become unsealed. He has to approve unsealing everything. And there's lots that hasn't been unsealed still.
Yeah.
And in part because I think he anticipates this is going back to trial or it's going to have some kind of additional legal ramifications. And so he's keeping things sealed that might be part of a new trial or a new thing. Policing drag races. Oh, you're policing drag races. Oh, nice. You get a little Fast and Furious on the streets of New York. Nice. That's our resident panelist 1-1 who's at work instead of on the show. I don't know. Man's got to pick his priorities, I'm telling you. So yeah, Kathy's in his zone. I'd like to know if you have any thoughts on why Judge Hitler has stopped unsealing the case since it's been a year. Because Kathy in his zone, I think Hitler knows that there are more litigations coming. Well, first of all, we know there's more litigation coming because we got the WSU lawsuit. The EWU lawsuit. So there already are more lawsuits involved, and some of the unsealing of that might affect those cases as well. I also think that Judge Hitler is waiting for September when post-conviction relief options supposedly are off the table for Kohberger. So they're waiting. I think he's waiting to see if Kohberger is going to file post-conviction relief. If September comes, I would imagine a new wave of unsealing will happen. So if the WSU lawsuit's settled by September and Kohberger doesn't file post-conviction relief by September and the EWU lawsuit is done by September, I think you'll see new stuff being unsealed.
Yeah. Plus, you have the leak investigation, like one just pointed out.
Right.
So
right. That's a big
as
one.
well.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Right. The criminal investigation. If Turvey's right, and I have no reason to believe Dr. Turvey's wrong, there's a criminal investigation going on into Kohberger's trial or the leak, and that also is why things would stay closed right now and sealed.
Yep.
Several people view this show as their nightly therapy. I love that very much. I've noticed a lot of people say that they come to watch Crimes After Dark on a nightly basis, and it's important for them. Which is again why I apologize that our energy level is a little lower. At least mine. Mine is a little lower. Robin's always kind of. You're always kind of You're always kind of the same. But I'm sometimes I'm like, woo.
I'm always the same.
Keep the questions coming. What professional backgrounds do you both have? Oh, what a great question. What a great question. You want to go, Robin, or me?
I don't care. Go
for it. Go for it.
All right. Well, I come from a lot of different backgrounds. I come from a writing background, as most of you guys know. I've done all kinds of different work from administrative, secretarial. I was a radio DJ. I DJ'd karaoke. So I'm kind of like a jack of all trades and definitely a master of none outside of the writing. But so I've done a lot of different things, and very varied backgrounds. So, yep.
Very cool. It's funny that you did the DJ thing because I went to National Broadcasting School out of high school, and I was going to be a DJ. That was going to be my big thing, and I did a small, I mean, really small stint on a radio station when I was in Michigan, but it didn't last long. And I've done the same thing. I've done a lot of different jobs. The biggest course of my career, if you will, was working as an administrative assistant. So I was just a mail secretary doing a lot of administrative assistant work, which then led to me, because I knew a lot about computers, led to me getting a job in IT, which then led to me getting a security clearance. And I worked in nuclear material as an administrative assistant for years, and then I got promoted and got even a higher top secret clearance, and I worked in a SCIF, and I was doing IT support for classified and unclassified networks. That was a big bulk of my major part of my career. And then after I left my security clearance job after like 15 years, I did a little bit of work at some IT support for a local school district, and now I'm doing this. So cool. I'm glad we answered those questions. Cool. Lee, did you get my email with Dylan's interview? I think I did, but I haven't watched anything or whatever. So I think I remember seeing something. I'm taking a look now.
Wisteria says you both have positive and encouraging attitudes, so I thought you had teacher. Now, funny you should ask, because Lee loves teaching. Like he is a very good teacher. So he may not have a teaching degree, but that definitely comes through. And I like showing people how to do things, walking them through how. So something, I guess, in our personality is coming through to you. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I it's funny because I've got the heart of a teacher. I love to teach people things.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my I think one of the greatest joys in life is explaining something to somebody and have them go, "Oh, now I get it." And you're like, "Oh, I feel privileged that I could help you see something that you didn't get until you heard it a certain way." But
yeah.
How long does crime actually take to commit? How long does the crime actually take to commit? I would say. I'll tell you, that didn't happen in 4 minutes. I can tell you that. It probably was more on the neighborhood of a half hour, or 20 something minutes at least. And that's if it was done by two groups of people at the same time. So probably a 20-minute ordeal, I would imagine, but I don't know. That's a guess.
Yeah.
And that's if there wasn't some torture involved in it, which I'm not entirely ruling out that possibility.
No, I'm not either.
Have we, let's see. Does anyone else find Dylan's composure in the interviews creepy calm, just like she was telling someone about a movie that she watched? Yeah, for sure. Body language is important. I'm not a body language expert. Yeah, but I'm always watching not just what people say, but how they're acting and how they're speaking. And I'm a people watcher. I've been a people watcher my whole life. So I'm always observing how they deliver themselves, for sure. I agree. Yep. Paul brought up something interesting today. Kaylee was found wearing one sock, and there is a sock in the living room. If that's the other sock, it gives credence to her having been attacked there. That is super interesting. That is super interesting. How the hell did he find out about the sock?
I don't know, but that definitely would give, potential credence to the fact that.
It makes me wonder where Paul found out that Kaylee had one sock on. I don't remember that being publicly released.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Chloe says, I wonder what Turvey thinks about the aspirated blood and the sheath. Good question. He didn't talk about that at all. That I remember.
No.
So I wonder as well. Yeah. Potty asked if we've discovered any new leads. We both penned at the same time. Have you guys developed any new leads in connection with the Penn State Idaho 4? No, that was brought to my attention by Birdie, I think, and I was super excited about it when I first heard about it, and I started to dig into it. But he and I think, saw different connections, and so I kind of dropped the ball on that. If he's still talking about that, I'm curious what he's uncovered. But I remember hearing him talk about it to me, and I was all excited about it, and then it just didn't seem like it was enough for me to jump in on myself. Good question. I wonder. So this is Paisley Spots, 9437. I wonder if Kaylee was going to run for help into Dylan's room, but Dylan stopped her in the doorway and got her there. It's tough to say. I mean, again, the problem is that Sutton and Turvey seemed to kind of agree that when they were that when the major bloodletting started, they never left the bedrooms. So the idea, while I entertain the idea that Kaylee could have been attacked in the main floor and then it moved upstairs, that's certainly possible. They all seem to agree that the attack happened and they never left the rooms they were killed in because of things like no blood on their feet or whatever, indicating that they were never upright. They were, once the bloodletting happened in the bed, they never got back up out of the bed, kind of thing. But that doesn't mean that, again, it doesn't rule out the possibility that they were attacked somewhere else and then chased up or carried up unconscious or whatever. It doesn't rule that out. So as far as I know,
Right.
I think there may be legal maneuvers towards Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, and potential others should Koberger be granted post-conviction relief. Yes. Charles, yes. If he files post-conviction relief, then yes, I believe that things will be reinvestigated and the statements of Dylan and Bethany will come back to haunt them if that happens.
Yes.
I think so.
I agree.
Jake from State Pharmaceuticals, both had their lungs stabbed. Every breath pulls blood up from the mouth where it's aspirated in a fine mist, can't breathe or scream. That last part bothers me. The idea that the killer was so good that he stabbed all of them in the lungs, and that's why we didn't hear any screaming, because he just was so good he stabbed them all and they can't breathe. That's been in the ether for a while, and I think that's ridiculous. Like, I don't know if that's where you were going with that, but I think it's ridiculous to think that there's no screaming and horrific things while they're fighting back because he punctured their lungs and they couldn't scream, and that's the answer to why 4 separate people get attacked and there's not any screaming, because he punctured their lungs. He was that good. Because he learned how to fillet fish.
Cynthia,
Love Tina
I don't
says,
think that's what,
"Oh, that's not for us. That's not for us."
no, I hit the wrong one.
Yeah, 1-1 heard a lot of screams between 115 and 227, and I agree. And that would be more. Although, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I don't buy into the idea that the killer was so good that he stabbed them all in the lungs, and that's why they can't scream, and that's why we didn't hear things.
No.
What is this? Unbridled Form 7930. What do you think about the notifications that Ethan got about being cheated on? I mean, it's 2 text messages over the course of the evening, and I don't know that I put a massive amount of weight on it. Was it interesting? 100% interesting. But to me, it doesn't lead to the explanations of what happened in the house. Ethan wasn't the killer. Ethan wasn't the one running around killing everybody, as far as I believe. So he was, I can't make the jump from him being told he's being cheated on to what happened in the house myself. But it's certainly interesting, 100% interesting. And I do keep my mind on that. Spilled Beans says, do you think the killers had a military medical background because of the wounds? Originally, I did believe if you were going to say one person killed all those people in the time frame they did, it would have to be somebody very trained, especially in knife fighting skills. And there was indications that I think that could have shown that somebody was using cuts that would be somebody who's trained in knife fighting. So I did entertain that idea, and it may be still to this day possible that they have some kind of training in knife fighting. So
yeah, let's talk about that a second, because both Kaylee and Maddie, they had very similar wounds as far as, their livers were damaged, that kind of thing, which says to me someone may have a certain way of going about it. Like
yeah.
they may have, because and it is true that people who do engage in fighting or combat or whatever, they do have preferred moves, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So that I always did find that interesting, that they had similar wounds to certain organs that way. And I don't mean to be graphic, but yeah, this is true crime. This is kind of what we do here. So, but
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think of that, Lee?
Well, yeah, like I said, I mean, I originally thought that it did make sense, and one of the things that I countered, I did a whole video on the whole idea that Brian Koberger
Yeah.
boxed at a boxing gym, and how that doesn't make sense, because boxers are taught to keep a distance from their opponent and strike from a distance, whereas somebody trained in knife fighting is taught to close in quickly and go for lethal kill really, really quick. So it indicated somebody could have been more of the variety of trained to do quick in close, get in and take them out quickly, overcome them quickly, as opposed to this idea that because Brian Koberger boxed for health, then that means he could have been trained to kill all those people. The boxing skills would not even be the same type of skills to do that. And yeah, I thought with Ethan's legs in particular being cut, taking out somebody's was it the femoral artery? Is that the one that's up inside the crotch area? That's a way to bleed somebody very, very quickly. If you cut that, that's one of the fastest way to bleed, and you can't be repaired. And so yeah, if somebody did that on purpose and went for it, that would suggest that they know how to kill somebody quickly. So I don't know.
Yep.
Sorry for all the comments from me, but I'm wondering how the attack happened in Maddie's room with very little room to maneuver, but yet her phone wasn't knocked off the table alongside the bed. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, again, if both the girls were asleep when the attack happened and two people went in and pinned them down and attacked them, I don't know that it would be terribly hard to do. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, all these, we can nitpick all the details, and we do nitpick all the details. So there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I don't know that I would say that. Like, how do I say that? Weird shit happens in crime scenes that you're like, well, how did that happen? Like, sometimes just weird shit happens, but I do think it's possible for them to have been attacked in bed and not bumped the cell phone myself, but who knows? Could this be cartel or gangs that have committed these atrocities? Crime Spy says. I, like many people, don't think it's cartel related, meaning anyways, so yes, drugs are something I think is absolutely drugs, mid-level drug dealers kind of thing could certainly be one of my top reasons for the murders, especially if somebody snitched on drugs. So somebody was working with Moscow Police Department to report drug trafficking through the house, because I believe that house was a house that drugs were trafficked through, and I think 1118 also was a house that drugs were trafficked through. If that was the case, and they were known drug houses, and if one of the people in the house had decided to rat or work with the police to try to bust the drugs moving into a house, that would get people killed. And then you start to ask yourself the question, well, then why did Dylan survive, and why did Bethany survive? And again, Dylan's own words, I think the killer might have known who I was and didn't want to hurt me. Mm-hmm. And I would agree. Right.
Yeah. I don't think it was an actual cartel hit. It was too, it wasn't clean enough. It wasn't fast enough. Those kinds of people, they get in, do the deed, and they get out. They don't spend hours on cleanup. They don't, kind of, I don't want to call it mess around necessarily, but it would have been a very efficient, instead of what it is.
Still looking for good questions. Cat's Mojo says, Devil's Advocates, with the skill set, precision of the wounds, do you think Kopacka could have been involved? He could end up being announced as a second assailant since then deceased. So yeah, I mean, Kopacka has always been on my radar because of that very reason. And I think, I've suspected the reason Brett Payne was brought in as a lead investigator is Brett Payne could have seen the damage that was done by a knife and thought I've seen this kind of thing. I know how that people that can do that kind of thing. And maybe that's why he ended up in charge in the first place, because he knew somebody specifically, i.e. he may have known Brent Kopacka and may have suspected him because of Brent Kopacka's history with anger issues and PTSDs with that. And, Brett Payne may have known him personally. I have reasons to believe the two of them crossed paths at Fort Bragg. And so it's possible he knew who the guy was and suspected him. And maybe that's part of the reason why he was in charge of that investigation, is they suspected Brent Kopacka early on. Hanky Panky Mom says, I don't trust all the info in the book timeline. It says Emily sent a Venmo to Xana at 3:51 a.m., but cites sources as BB card for Emily. What the fuck is BB card? I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah. What is a BB card? Does anybody know what a BB card might be?
Emily sent a Venmo to Xana at 3:51. Huh. Is that on the timeline in the book and Broken Plea? Let me see.
I don't know. That's what I was just going to say.
What time did she say? 3:51?
3:51.
I'm looking at the book. Now I need my glasses. 351. Emily Alant Venmos Xana $14. BB card for Emily. 3:54 a.m. Xana text message to the DoorDash. Are you having trouble finding it?
I don't know what a BB card is.
BB card for Emily.
Yeah, that Best Buy? Is that a Best Buy? Yeah, News Network says Best Buy.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's a great question. Oops, I just unpinned something because I was trying to unpin. Anyways, so the guy, okay, Teresa Morris, 6206, the guy my mom knew years and years and years ago, ended up with a steady girlfriend, and she started doing the stuff he sold, and that got found out, and he was relocated back home and replaced.
Okay.
That's a little hard to understand, but it's a little hard to understand. I was trying to parse it out and kind of understand, but I sound like, yeah, I might need a little bit more clarification on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk
about
the sock. Everybody's talking about the sock, and I don't know when the sock got into the discussion. Like this, the lone sock in the front of the room was not her sock. Her sock was found either in her clothes or in the bed, and the other sock was not on her foot. I don't. Where did everybody get the sock information? That seems like I don't remember seeing that in the discussion.
I don't know. Was that something that I think maybe Pav or somebody, Lena, brought up?
This is the part that I've been a little bit out of touch with, is people keep bringing up new details like Ethan's junk was cut off, whatever. And I'm like, when did this come out? Like, as far as I know, no new documents have come out. So why are we all of a sudden having brand new theories in this case when, as far as I know, no new documents have come out? And all of a sudden and I don't think the leaks have started to happen. Like the big autopsy leaks and stuff like that haven't happened. So I don't know where all the information is coming from.
One says so we've
known about the sock for a long time. Well, not we, because I haven't really ever been asked about the sock before, so we don't know. But I guess you did know, so that's good.
Okay, the sock is apparently on the evidence list. Okay, it's been a while since I've looked at the evidence list, so
for sure,
I didn't know. Unfortunately, remember ever.
I remember I do remember this being asked whether or not Kaylee or somebody was a sock sleeper, meaning was she the type to sleep in her socks or not?
Yeah, we were talking about whether she was a sock sleeper. I think Lena was talking about whether she was a sock sleeper or not when you were
on. Broke the lone sock in the living room and made an observation that it was Kaylee's sock. Well, I would have to watch Pav's breakdown of that before I can really comment, unfortunately. I should put it on the list of things to look into, because there's so many questions about Pav's comment on the socks means I need to find what he said. Let's see. Pav's video on the sock. I need to look into that.
Yeah. Charlie's Blissfield says, are you aware if stomach contents were analyzed? Strikes me the timeline could be very solid with such analysis, given it is known 3 victims ate shortly before being attacked. And no, we have not been given that. That's part of the problem. We have not gotten any kind of information about the stomach contents at all.
In fact, we asked Christopher Wickham, who wrote the book Broken Plea, about the stomach contents, and it was a sketchy answer. And then Brent Turvey was asked about the stomach contents, and it was a sketchy answer. It feels like Brent Turvey and Christopher Wickham know things about the stomach contents, and they won't tell us about it. They just keep referring to, well, the food was on the counter in the kitchen, and there was food in the bedroom. I don't know why that comes up. Like every time I've asked about the stomach contents, they go, well, there's food in the kitchen, there's food in the bedroom. That's not what I asked.
Right.
I asked what was in her stomach.
What I asked.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know why they're not answering this, and they'll say, oh, yeah, I know the answer to that, but I can't talk about it further. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what Turvey said. He was like, I don't want to talk about that, or something to that effect. Yeah. Yep.
Which makes me think that there's something about the stomach contents that we need to know.
Yeah, I agree. Because when people don't answer you about it, that means something.
Wow, I'm having a hard time keeping up with the chat. I just realized I'm so far behind. Holy shit. There's a ton of comments I just missed.
Yeah, they're coming in fast and furious now. All right, saying hello to one more.
Somebody had asked me the question if I thought it was professional killers. I don't know that. I don't know that it was professional killers. I don't have the impression it was. I don't have the impression
I
it was
don't think
professional
so.
killers.
Yeah, I don't think so. It wasn't clean and quick enough. It was because if it was a professional, they would get in, do what they need to do, and get out.
All yeah, all
And
evidence
that's
to me
not what
suggests
happened.
a rage kill and then some cover up to
Yes,
clean up what happened afterwards. Yeah.
right. I mean, because when you figure up how many wounds each of them had, I mean, doing that to one person, let alone four, would take a considerable amount of time. So a professional, like I said, they're gonna, and if it was a professional, I think there would have been a gun involved if it was a professional, but I don't believe it was.
Yeah, we talked a little bit when we were talking to Wickham, I think, about the bags over hands. So they bag thing they put it like a paper bag over someone's hand to retain the evidence and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So I think Ethan's hand was described as they put his hand with the debris in it inside of, like, put a paper bag around it, and kind of that's part of their evidence preservation tactic. So the bag wasn't put on by the
yeah,
killers; it was put on by evidence handling, or at least we believe so.
yeah.
Why this is why people are talking about the sock, because I think it is the first time I have seen this evidence list. That's what's bothering me. Like, why did I not know that new documents have been released? If it's a new evidence list, I did not hear anything new has come out. So that's why I'm like, how did I get so far behind if there's some new documents that have been released and nobody told me? I didn't know there was anything new. But one said we've heard about the sock for quite a while, so I guess it was an evidence list at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There is nothing new, he says. So,
Christmas Now says, have you heard about Dylan's journal? Yes. What was she writing over and over? That again was a big mystery. How did Lana get a hold of Dylan's journal? Is that out there in the public ether, or did she get some kind of insight? Like, that's another part that I feel behind on. Everybody keeps asking me about, well, Lana talked about her journal. I'm like, when did Lana get her journal? Like, I didn't know Lana got the journal. Did somebody is she the only one that has the journal? Or I know what people say is in the journal, but I've been asking, like, can I see this journal for myself so I can make my own opinions? And everybody's like, well, no, Lana covered it. Like, well,
right,
then how did Lana get the journal?
right, yeah. Because we don't, without being able to see it, we don't know what was written over and over, or what all the drawings were that were in it. I know people are talking about there being some very disturbing pictures that she drew in it, but I don't know without having seen it.
I saw one of the pictures that was supposedly on Dylan's corkboard that somebody blew up and got a good image of, and I got mixed feelings about it. People say it's a picture of Kaylee with a bruised and battered face and blood all over. And I look at it and I'm like, it looks like artistic work, and it doesn't. And I can't tell you for sure that it is Kaylee, and I can't tell you that it was meant to look like bruise and battering. But I can see how somebody would jump to that. But when I look at it, that's
Right,
why I like to put my own eyeballs on it, because I'm like, I see an artwork that was painted in purples and whatever. So if you want to call that bruising, okay, but maybe it was just artistic expression. I like to look at it myself and decide if that's what it was meant to do. Julie Rose says that she watched some of Lana's videos from 2 to 3 years ago, and she's come a long way. Yeah, hopefully all of us get to learn a lot of tricks. You should
right.
no, you shouldn't. But if you saw some of my early shit, holy crap! Like, I was so awkward and nervous and clunky when I first started. I feel like I've gotten more comfortable on camera, because I certainly wasn't at the beginning.
Well, there's a learning curve,
Yeah.
so for any of you guys out there that are thinking about that's like, myself starting the new channel. It's going to take a little while. It's not going to be polished. First of all, that's not my style anyways, to be like super polished, but I try. But yeah, so no, Lee, I think you've really done great, personally. So
Julia Rose said she's watched me on TikTok from day one. Was that though?
Oh,
Was
that's
that was
cool.
that the Devil's Advocates on TikTok or my Gnostic Buddha? Because I was on there for quite a while. I was Gnostic Buddha, but yeah, I was awkward. I still am awkward. In fact, someone said at any given time, if you look back at what you did 3 months ago and you're not ashamed of what you did 3 months ago, then you're not doing something right. And I'm like, I wonder if that's going to be the case. Will I always look back 3 months ago? Oh my God, that video I did 3 months ago sucked ass.
Well, and that's so true because I look back at my writing from when I first started writing, and I'm like, what was I
Yeah.
doing? So yeah, so I get it. Yeah. Brandy Michelle, she said, talking about Lana, she honestly probably has insider info. Yeah, Lana's very good about finding sources. She,
And
so, and that
and if
has
that's
come with her experience. So,
and if that's the case, the problem is I cannot comment on Lana's inside source. So people can't
right.
ask me what do I think about the journal that Lana has if Lana's the only one who has it, because I have to see it myself. But you speed reading through documents. I've done that.
Haven't we all?
All right, keep them coming. What do we got for questions?
Amanda says,
from my understanding,
Kaylee's.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Kaylee's other sock was in Maddie's room. I could be wrong, thinking it was Chris or Turvey that mentioned it.
Yeah, I mean, from watching how much people are talking about the sock, it sounds like a lot of people are saying there was a sock in the living room, and there was one sock on Kaylee, and it's not the same sock. So it's so I don't know. What I do know is apparently I need to get sock educated because I didn't realize there was a big discussion about the sock, and now I need to have an answer because I don't want to just give you an opinion about something I haven't really looked into. I see this question a lot, Brad Harrison, and so I just want to make sure that you understand why I haven't highlighted it, but now I am. How can Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk keep quiet? Don't they have a conscience? I saw you've asked the question several times, and I didn't want. And I was like, you're probably going to be like, they don't answer my question. It's kind of like what you call a rhetorical question. Like you're right. Like how do you answer that? There is no answer for that. I don't know what the answer is. How do they keep quiet about something? I think they know a lot more about what happened than they're saying, and that's troublesome. But there's no answer for it.
Yeah.
There's just not an answer for it. Open your mind, 68. I still think this is some kind of ritual with Sigma Chi 1113 as a special day with Sigma. It was not done in the home. I remember hearing a wheelchair in the early days. Yeah, so that's super interesting about the ritual stuff. If I ever get into that kind of stuff, it will be on my alt channel, the Devil's Advocates Beyond, because I will tread lightly with the ritual and the numerology and stuff like that. But I already have a bunch more stuff on it. I've actually touched on some things on this channel, but I would rather do a full blown piece about it on the other channel someday. The one and only Mert says, Lee, have you ever covered the case of Raoul Valley? I'm curious if you think he was guilty or not. I have not. I'm not familiar with that case, so I'll put it on my list of things to look into right now.
There you go.
Thank you for the suggestion. I got it on my growing list of to-do items. Teresa Morris, 6206, my question. Conflict of interest. What does this mean when it comes to attorneys? Rules, laws, because Brian's attorney had not that long ago been one of the victim mother's attorney. Yeah, so that's a tough one. So supposedly the answer, so Ann Taylor had been assigned as an attorney for like Xana's mother. But supposedly the answer to why it wasn't a conflict of interest for her to handle a murder case of her own client's child is that she never actually represented Xana's mother. What it supposedly happened is because she was in that office, her name got put on all letterhead and was temporarily on letterhead that said that she was involved in it, but she never was. So she kind of countered, hey, look, I'm only on the paperwork because my name's on all the paperwork. I'm not her attorney, never was her attorney, so there's no conflict of interest. So that's the gist of how they answered that one, that she was at just temporarily, because it's her office, the public defender's office, listed on the paperwork, but she never actually was representing her. But I've been told by somebody on the inside that that's not true, that she does have a conflict of interest there, and it's a big problem. Then people don't realize that it still is a problem. So I don't know. LGH, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Any? Anyways, a perp didn't clean up. You could gather the hair ripped from your head before worrying about the living room floor and walls. A perp didn't clean up. You would gather the hair ripped from your head before worrying about I see what you're trying to say. So you're saying because hair was in Ethan's hand and they didn't clean that up, that means there is no cleanup, because they would have cleaned up the hair in his hand. I disagree with you, but I understand what you're saying. So the logic is, if somebody cleaned up the crime scene, they would have certainly removed their hair from Ethan's hand and not just spent time in the living room. And I get that argument, but I don't think that was the point. I think the point was they were trying to disguise what happened in the main room. And again, whether or not, I don't know. I don't think that it excludes the possibility that there was a cleanup. In fact, I think Turvey's opinion and my opinion from listening to Turvey's analysis and Chris Wickham's is that there was definitely a cleanup. So there's no question there was a cleanup. In my opinion, there's no question there's a cleanup. That other parts weren't cleaned up only tells you that the parts that they cleaned up were that's what we need to find out. Why did they only, that's exactly what I think, Whitcomb said. Why is the cleanup only in the main room? There's no cleanup. There's no evidence of cleanup in the other rooms, just in the main room. No. Christine Wright says, Lee, you need to get a law degree and go get him out. Yeah, I've had a lot of people say that, but it's kind of funny. So I'm just kind of dabbling in the kind of thing. But yeah, it would have been. I have no desire to take a test like that. Holy shit, the bar exam's got to be brutal.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, Rachel,
There's
who
a lot of
lives
people
near the ice wall. Rachel, who lives near the ice wall. How cool. That's great. That's a great name. Common areas were the only ones cleaned up. Yeah, and I think that tells part of the story. Why was only the common areas cleaned up? Well, that in itself is a clue as to what happened. I'm not saying I have the answer. What I'm saying is the fact that it seems that the cleanup only happened in the common room tells you is part of the story. Why were they only concerned about cleaning up the main room? So Teresa Morris says, if you're putting things on a list, look up May 1st, 2023, Henrietta, Oklahoma, Jesse. Hold on. I got to write a lot of notes on that one. Hold on. All right. So 2023, Henrietta, Oklahoma, Jesse McFadden. Jesse McFadden sounds familiar. Very few people have covered this. I asked people to look into it. Please look. All right. Got it. Cool. The Gemware Gorgon says, have you looked into the recent student stabbing? I'm interested to see if they are connected. No, I don't know about which recent student stabbing at what school. In Idaho? I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, I don't know that I've heard of anything.
I think that the room was cleaned up because DM and maybe others created bloody footprints that led to our room. See, there is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The reason why only the common room was cleaned up is a key to what happened, right? And I agree, that's the kind of answer right there. That somebody was trying to cover up the footprints that would lead and maybe show somebody was involved that they didn't want to be at the crime scene, so they cleaned up the area where their footprints were. Because if you're in the room, maybe they didn't leave the footprints, but if they tracked it out of the room, maybe somebody cleaned up. So yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about when you're talking about why only the common room. The recent student stabbing was at UW, and the perp turned himself in. So University of Washington stabbing. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, WSU, I think she means.
Well, there's a big difference because WSU is two different places.
Or do you mean University of Washington? She says Washington.
Washington University.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I'm not
Love
sure.
Tina says that they were stabbed like 40 times. Ooh.
I know I'm typing with my microphone on. Hold on.
Yeah.
Um,
Teresa Morris says, I'll tell you more and where things to look at when you get around to that one. That way I can tell you the stuff that I'm really freaked out by it. You want to talk about law failure.
All right. So here's what I found out about the stabbing. The stabbing was at the University of Washington, not Washington State University. So University of Washington's over by Seattle. Washington State University is on the other side of the state over in Pullman, Washington. So this was an incident on May 10th at the University of Washington over by Seattle. A 19-year-old UW student, Juniper Blessing, a transgender woman, was found stabbed to death in the laundry room. Oh, yeah, I remember the laundry room. They were saying a homicide, but in the laundry room and telling people to stay away from Nordheim Court Apartments, an off-campus student housing complex near UW. She suffered more than 40 stab wounds to the head, neck, and shoulder, and arms and hands, including defensive wounds. The medical examiner ruled it a homicide. Well, you probably should. 31-year-old Christopher let himself into the Bellevue police May 14th after police released surveillance footage. He faces first-degree murder charges with $10 million bail. The incident caused safety concerns on campus, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so it's UW, not WSU, different campus entirely.
Amanda says to check teams.
And it's an article about the which one is the one that she just sent about the stabbing, or the one before that about the must be the one about the autopsy?
About the stabbing.
Okay. Yeah. At first blush, having just heard about it for the first time, well, I remember hearing about it because I remember hearing them put out the warning about staying away from the laundry room on the campus, but I didn't read the details, and I didn't hear about those until tonight. Do I think it's related to the WSU stabbings? No, I don't believe it's a completely different campus, and I think it's completely different MO and everything. Jake from State Pharmaceuticals. The Devil's Advocates, what do you make of all three of Ann's DP clients changing their plea to guilty 1 month prior to their trials? Richard Ross, Koberger, Skylar Mead, all three preparing 2 years. Yeah, I mean, it suggests that first of all, I say this all the time, most of our trials end in plea deals. Very little goes to trial anymore. And I think it's cost efficient for places to get plea deals like that. So do I think there's something you should look into? For sure. I think we should look into why so many plea deals, and especially if one person's in charge of all the or involved in multiple plea deals. I think it's something we should definitely look into. I don't have any allegations or accusations or even something I want to share on it other than, yeah, it's a good point. It's a great point. Teresa Morris, the guy that stabbed the transgender woman tried to break into another apartment in the same complex, and the girls who lived in it caught him wiggling through the kitchen window. The girls yelled and he left. Wow. Guy's got some issues.
Yeah. Wow.
And was it a hate crime? I'm you hear transgender woman and now you're like, okay, so is that a hate crime, or was it targeted? And if he's breaking into somebody else's window, then is it just random? Some guy went on a killing spree and decided to start killing people? It's very weird.
Yeah.
Bill Thompson used to be Ann Taylor's boss. She trained under him. Yep. I believe that's true. And I think that, that's part of the question. Like, did the two of them come to some kind of agreement to get the plea done in the Koberger case? It's a great question.
Christine Wright wants us to assemble. We're like Avengers.
Lee Robin, lawyer 211, detective investigator. Land of the paralegal, go through. Yeah, it's kind of funny. We've kind of developed this show theme of us being kind of like superheroes or whatever. It's kind of funny. This kind of evolved.
Well, it takes raising kids takes a village. Well, doing this stuff, you kind of need a team. So
Looking for more questions, comments. Again, this is very low key night. Look how low key we are.
Hey,
No,
everybody's having a
because
good time.
they were just regular girls, and it happened a little bit before midnight. I think around 10 p.m. to between 10. So it sounds like you're saying it wasn't a hate crime. It wasn't a targeted hate crime kind of thing, because there was just there's no connection with the other. Like it's not like the person was going after transgender people or something like that. So good to know. I don't know. I haven't looked into it too much, so that's good to know.
Aw. We're the YouTube superheroes, man. I love it. Thank you.
When was he her boss? He's a prosecutor, and she's always been no, she has not always been I don't think she's always been a defense
she
attorney.
was not.
She spent time in the prosecutor's office. Let me pull that up real quick.
Yes, she did. Yeah, she did. So she knows Bill Thompson very well. She knows how he operates very well. And so that leads to the question. I know a lot of people are questioning, well, what was she just part of the, the good old boy network? And what was this something that all the lawyers, decided from the beginning this was kind of how it was going to go down and everything. And so you can kind of understand where that question might come from. I'm not saying there's anything to that, but you can certainly understand where that might come from, and why people might, think such a thing. So
real quick, Ann Taylor spent 5 years as Kootenai County Prosecutor's Office early in her career after graduating from the University of Idaho College in 1998 before admitting to the Idaho State Bar. This was before she transitioned to her defense work in 2004, joining the Kootenai County Public Defender's Office. So yes, she was a prosecutor for 5 years. So.
Yep. And somebody, there it is. Christine thinks you found a key to the case with the master service agreement.
I tend to agree. It's a big deal, and I'm super pissed off that over a month ago I asked for them to confirm the master service agreement and what officers were on that special patrol that night, and they completely ignored it. I sent a second letter saying it's been over a month. They now are 2 weeks behind answering that letter. They are 100% ignoring both of those letters. The letter that says, "Hey, what about this?" and "Hey, you broke the law by not answering what about this," and they're still ignoring it. And I think there's a reason, because I think it is a key. I think it's a major key. Thank you for that. Question for both of you. What is your most interesting case that you have watched so far, and why? Ooh. I mean, it's hard to beat Idaho 4 as an interesting case.
Yeah, it is. But I will say I'm going to go old school, and it's the very first case that I ever really got invested in was John F. Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so much to that one. So that one is very, very fascinating. There are things that were supposed to have come out in that have not to or not. So I am still fascinated with that one. So yeah, I'm gonna go old school. So outside Idaho 4, that is one of, like, old cases. It's still fascinating.
I was fascinated by the Lori Vallow Baybill thing. Like that was a big one for me, but I didn't get into it from a true crime research, just as an armchair watching it. That was super interesting to me. So I don't know that I have the most interesting. I think this would have to be Idaho 4 has to be the most interesting. I've never seen anything like this case. This has been nuts. So
yep.
But yeah, I was big into the JFK thing too. I've got all kinds of thoughts about that as well. But
yep.
We had a thing pinned for just a moment and it went away.
Yeah, where'd it go? Oh.
But she was prosecuting drug charges. Prosecuting drug charges. Wasn't she? Not murder charges, not death row charges especially. Ann Taylor, right? Ann Taylor's death qualified. Yeah, as a prosecutor, she wasn't doing death. I don't think she was doing death prosecutions, but I don't know when she got death penalty qualified. If you're talking about Ann Taylor.
Tracy Moore says, just wait till you see Jesse McFadden. Okay.
I got to step away for just a moment because, like, the little boys' room is calling me in the middle of our show, like, really, really bad.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Well, what are you going to do? That's all right. I'll hold down the fort. I'll hold down the fort here. The Ketty murders are kind of okay. I'm not familiar with the Ketty murders, so now I'm gonna have to look that up. What kind of evidence? Okay, Brad Harris says, "What kind of evidence do you think will come out next?" Everyone says something big. Oh, I think there's going to be a lot of different things come out. One of the things that I most hope comes out. Uh, the 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 autopsy stuff, I hope some stuff starts getting unsealed, but if it doesn't, I have a hunch we're going to start seeing some more people start speaking on some of that. And I'm not sure where that's going to come from, but that's kind of what I'm hoping will start coming out is more of the, maybe we get some more experts like Turvey or and I'm really super looking forward to Cy Ray's book. I have it on pre-order, so I'm really looking forward to that coming out to see what all he has to say in that. So
Did you know the FBI agent Nick Balance is the man who discovered where Tyler and JJ were buried on Chad's property using Alex Cox's phone? No, I did not know that. Did not. Like I said, I didn't follow the case strongly enough to be able to know the names that Nick Balance was involved in that. But that's interesting. That's super interesting. Thanks for sharing.
yeah, it is. Robin, can the family stop the autopsies from being made public? Well, they've already stopped certain pictures from coming out, and I don't know that the families can stop the autopsies from coming out, but the judge sure can, and he has.
Yep.
And so that stuff has not been released. So
that's a great answer. Ann Taylor is one of 13 public defenders in Idaho approved by the state's Public Defense Commission to lead a capital punishment case. She's also the only one in all of North Idaho. Yeah, and that's been the explanation for why she took on another murder case while doing a murder case with Brian Koberger, was that she's one of only a few that can do so. And so, but one could argue that she knew that this one was going to not go to trial. That's why I would argue the reason why Ann Taylor took on another murder case is she knew this one wasn't going to trial. That's a big thing people need to think about. Ann Taylor probably knew this wasn't going to go to trial. And how would she know that? How would she know this wasn't going to go to trial?
Right. Yeah. So Julie Rose says the public was not ready for Casey Anthony. These days, she'd be convicted guilty or not.
Yeah. I don't have enough on the Casey Anthony case opinions to give an opinion, but yeah, things have changed.
Yep. Yeah, one. This is such a good point about the three fights. Who were the people involved in these three fights that Chris Whitcomb talked about? He said there were three fights that night. So I'd like to know who, because maybe it was and maybe it wasn't pertinent to this case, but I'd still like to know. So, and what were they fighting about?
Yeah, for some reason, for me, the fights have never rose to my attention. I think fights on college campuses are a fucking weekend thing.
Yeah, but
every
three
weekend
in the same night.
Yeah,
but three.
I went to WSU. There was fights all the time.
But yeah, I know, but I'm just nosy. So sorry.
I've always wondered about what being death penalty qualified actually means. Do you guys have any idea? Yes. So death penalty cases have a lot of extra nuances, including, for example, an extra phase, which is the mitigation phase. So if your client is found guilty, you also have to go through mitigation. And mitigation starts from the very, very beginning. It's like, are there any things like, for example, does my client have a mental condition like autism spectrum disorder that could prejudice a jury to give them the death penalty when they don't really deserve the death penalty. So there's one phase of the trial that has to do with, are they guilty or not? And then there's the death penalty part, and that the mitigating circumstances for, is there anything that would prejudice a jury to give them the death penalty? That's a separate thing. And so only certain attorneys have been really qualified to be able to do the mitigating circumstances and all the stuff like that. It takes extra level of understanding of the thing. And so she's one of the few people that have all of the ability to handle a death penalty case, including those mitigating circumstances at the after conviction, if you will. So if he gets convicted, then they have to also do the mitigating circumstances. And so it just has to basically be somebody that's really, really well known and versed on death penalty cases in particular, and knows how to handle the mitigating circumstances that could come up after the sentencing and things like that, from what I understand. Another video just mentioned the amount of medication Ann Taylor had BK put on. He clearly looked out of it in his hearings. That's a problem that harkens back to, and I don't know anything about that. So I do know that I've seen clients in court that are drugged out of their mind and can't represent themselves, and therefore they'll just, you have to wonder, is their attorney really in their best interest if they can't understand their own? And Ann Taylor even said, Brian Koberger, we're having a hard time getting Brian Koberger to help with his own defense. So could he have been drugged out of his mind to the point that he can't help with their defense? So they just said, well, we're doing what's in his best interest because he's not really cooperating because he's, I don't know. I never heard anything about him being drugged, though. Never heard anything about that.
Yeah.
Why wasn't anyone? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, why weren't they? See, that's the thing I do not understand. Especially living where they did. They were like right there, like through the wall.
They would have heard
Why
them.
would you not interview them?
Yeah.
I don't get it. So I feel that frustration.
And I can't say definitively that they weren't interviewed, because I didn't pay attention to all the names and where they lived to see that nobody, like I'd be stunned to find that nobody was canvassed and interviewed at 1112, but maybe that's true. I don't know. I think D and B cleaned up and then discovered Z. Felt stupid for not doing anything. Answers why they were scared, but not really. Z, you probably mean X for Xana. Is that what you mean? So yeah. I think Dylan and Bethany cleaned up and then discovered Xana. Felt stupid for not doing anything. Answers why. Maybe. I think it would be impossible not to have seen Xana. To be honest, I think it's impossible not to have seen Xana. I mean, Dylan said she saw her laying on the ground and thought she had just passed out. So she saw her for sure. Why do you think Ann Taylor didn't request extra clerical or paralegal support? That's a great question. Again, I have to wonder if she knew it wasn't going to go to trial. Like the more that I look into this case, I have to believe that she didn't think this was going to go to trial. Ann Taylor didn't think. That's why she picked up another death penalty case, because if she was in the middle of a big trial, a big murder trial for her client, she wouldn't be able to spend time on her other murder trial. I think she knew. I think it shows something. I think she knew this wasn't going to go to trial. So it's a great question. It's a great question. Cat's Mojo. Crime Spy 2024. Oh, that's for Crime Spy. Per Connor, who sent in a FOIA, MPD confirmed that the interviews with David Baracoa and David Loach do not exist. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
That's crazy.
Lowkey Night. What do you think?
Yeah, well,
nobody joins us on stage. It's kind of funny. Hey, you guys should have people up on stage. We try. I've sent the link out a bunch of times. Nobody comes up here.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, we haven't really seen Grammy Tammy around here too much lately, so it's nice that she stopped by. It was good to see you. I haven't seen you for a little while, so thank you for coming on in. Somebody go up there.
Somebody go up there, for God's sake.
And Christine Wright says, I would come on, but I can't think clearly. Neither can I, but I'm here anyway. So what the hell? And
we have to be careful who we have on, because we've been bitten once. Once bitten, twice shy.
Yeah.
I think her story changed. I don't think she saw Xana the night before. early one, it was said the roommates yelled, "Shut up." The whole testimony of Dylan and Bethany is very sketch. Mostly Dylan, of course, because Bethany really may have not seen a whole lot from the bottom floor, but Dylan certainly saw a lot, and I feel like you can't trust the statements. Paisley Sports 9437. I heard none of the parents viewed the victims as suggested by police. Your thoughts? Yeah, I don't know if they did or not. It's those are things we hear. I don't know. I heard they were cremated. All but one wasn't all but one cremated, or wasn't one not cremated?
I believe so.
So I don't know who did. That's the problem. I don't know who did or didn't. I hear rumor mills, a lot of stuff. So I don't know who did or didn't see. Why can't we get papers from the FBI? What papers from the FBI? So you can put in FOIA requests for the FBI. I've done it. I've submitted a FOIA to the FBI, and the FBI told me that they've got my information, but they won't respond to it. That was funny. Not gold. I know.
That's not what. There we go. I was looking for Cat's Mojo's question.
If you invite Christopher Wickham back on your channel, what new questions would you discuss? Part of the thing is I haven't. That's the problem. I haven't come up with any new questions to ask him. Because again, I view things differently than a lot of people do. I'm not going to ask him about questions that he clearly avoided in his book, because there's a reason why he avoided it, and he'll just avoid them again. So there are things that I would like to know what Chris has seen, but I don't think he'll talk about them on camera. And so until I can come up with a good set of questions that I would ask Christopher Wickham that I feel confident he would answer, I haven't come up with that. Look, JJ from State of the Deep is here. Hey everyone, sorry I missed you guys. Got home after 2 days of grueling logistical stuff to pick up a motorcycle. If someone emails me the link, I'll jump in and say hi. Cool. Can you send? I think you did send him the link.
Email him the link.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I thought I did send it, but that's okay. I can send it right now.
Let's see. Amanda's pinging me backstage. Let's see what she says. Oh yeah, she said the same thing. JJ will join us if we give him the link.
Okay, link has been sent, sir.
Brad Harris asked, is the judge the only one who can okay the release of crime scene photos? I remember the Jodi Arias case, and those crime scene photos were graphic and public. So I'm not sure how aware you are of what happened, but Olivia Gonzalez championed new legislation that was passed and I think goes into effect June 1st, I think, that states that it's a new Idaho law that no one's allowed to see crime scene photos unless you're the victim's family. So they've already put that in place. The law has been approved and it goes into effect coming up. And so because of that, I don't think we're going to see anything early anyways. They're just going to, even if the law isn't in effect yet, they've already made the law that says that they will not release crime scene photos anymore to the public. So that we won't see it. At least, well, I think we'll see it, but I think we'll see it because it's going to get leaked. I think that crime scene photos are going to get leaked, but that's my thinking.
Baby
All right,
B.
Baby B. Let's roll the dice. Let's see how this goes. What's going on?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, wait.
How are you?
I've never done this before, and I'm getting like double, like you're playing on two different things.
Oh, okay. Well, we don't hear it. That's the good thing. We're not getting an echo over here. But
wait, I might have to. Oh, okay. I had it open in the. Okay. Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Hi.
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for coming up and joining us. What's on your mind?
Okay, hold on. I have to fix this.
Okay, take your time. Oops, she's gone girl.
she'll come back. I
Yep.
hope.
Yep. And then we got JJ coming here shortly. So we'll now that we're like an hour and 30 minutes into a 2-hour show, everybody's coming on the show. That's funny though.
Christine Wright says she was going to do it. Now she just can't.
Oh no, she can't.
Yeah, she's too shy.
Oh.
I think is what she's trying to say.
Gotcha.
That's okay, Baby B. You can just hit the link again. It's all right.
Gwenda Mueller says you guys should go read up on Nicola Gobby here in Australia, and the disparage of William Tyrrell, also in Beaumont children. The Beaumont children. That's a lot of names. I'll put some notes together here.
Yeah, but I like the international cases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, then I'd have to bone up on their laws. So,
Well, that's
oops,
okay.
you made it go
You
away
like-
before I could type the names.
Oh shit!
I was
Sorry.
trying to type the names. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Okay, hold on. Gobby, Australia.
Thank you for the gift, Zofia.
All right, I got it.
I'm sorry, I'm killing your name. I'm sorry about that. But thank you so much.
Thank you for the support. Yeah, I appreciate that very much. It helps out. All that stuff helps. I'm telling you, for those people who think that we're rolling in the cash, we are not. We are bleeding money. We spend more money than we make, and so we're having problems paying the bills. So these kind of things do help. It helps a lot. We are not rolling in cash. We're negative.
No.
We keep spending money and going into debt. So we need to get that shit paid down. William Tyrrell was kidnapped from a bus stop in Australia and has never been seen again. Wow. Well, I got it on the list. I did write down the name, so we'll take a look at some of that stuff. What are these jewels? Are they points or dollars? Cats Mojo says it's a new system that YouTube, I think, put into place to kind of replace super stickers. Now they're going to a jewels system, kind of like TikTok does, where you can buy with your dollars, you buy jewels, and then you can farm those jewels out in the form of little images and stuff that pop up on the creator's screen that you pay a certain number of jewels for. The more jewels you spend, it has all these a million different things. So it's kind of like that TikTok system if you're familiar with that. And there's JJ from State of the Deep. What's going on, man?
Hey.
Welcome.
Oh boy, I made it. Hello, everybody.
Got it there, huh?
Do you have your new motorcycle?
I do have it.
Are you excited?
In the garage after a challenging day.
That's gotta be fun having a new toy. A new toy is awesome.
Yeah, I'll give you the quick synopsis for any motorcycle heads out there. I went in first thing in the morning, Colorado Springs, which is 3 hours from where I live. I stayed down there last night so I could be closer. I get there in the morning, bike's not ready. They don't have all the parts installed.
Wow.
So I'm just like, all right, whatever, I'll wait around. So I had to wait around for a while for them to finish it. Did the paperwork, all that stuff. That was super easy. Then they give you a quick demo when you buy a new bike. Here's the key, here's this setting, here's that. She went to show me how the seat, you have a seat lock that pops the seat up.
Yeah.
The key got stuck in the lock. So the salesperson was giving me the demo. She popped the back seat, all right, that's good. Put the seat back on. The key would not come out.
Wow.
So they had to get mechanics to come. Wow. They couldn't get it out.
Wow.
So then they had to bring the bike back into the shop and
replace the
figure out what was wrong with it. I won't even bore you with the rest of it. Crazy shit happened. It went from 90 degree weather today to gusty winds and rain and freezing cold.
It was shit here too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, once you go up into the mountains, it changes completely. So it was a challenge. That's for sure. It was great. The bike's great. I've been through worse. It was just one of those days.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you. I'm glad that you made it in. We won't be on much more longer. It's been super low key for me today. I just feel so low energy. I feel like I might be catching a bug or something like that. It's good that we have a day off tomorrow because I need to get re-energized.
I just wanted to come in and say hello to everybody because the last 2 days have been nutty and there's no way I'm getting my video out for tomorrow morning. So I'll have to record that tomorrow and I'll get it out either Monday or midweek. Man, it's been kooky. It's kind of crazy that I even made it to come on and say hello to everybody.
Thank you, Julia Rose, for the donation and for the kind words. I feel bad because I feel like this is not our this whole show has not felt like our normal show. I mean, we are answering a lot of questions, so that's cool, but it doesn't feel like our normal show. We're just I feel completely out of sync. But thank you so much. I appreciate it very, very much. What kind of bike? Somebody asked you. Do you want to tell us what kind of bike you got?
It's a Triumph.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of like a cross between a sport bike and a retro bike. Very, very cool. It's dope. The bike's great. And you know, when you first buy a bike, you can't go fast because you have to stay, you know, below like certain RPMs and stuff.
Ease it in.
Right.
Yeah,
like it's a fast bike, but I didn't even, you know, push it hard at all. But it's great. Bike's awesome. I'm very happy with it.
I got a fast car.
It was last night. I'm in a hotel room last night when I'm trying to use my phone to get on stream, and I got on and then I got kicked off, and then I got on and then I got kicked off. So I don't know what that was all about. But after the third time getting kicked off, I was just like, I'm just gonna cash in my chips and count my losses.
Chris 8206 asked Lee, do you still do solo shows? I don't do solo lives anymore because I found that I suck ass at solo lives. Like I need somebody to talk to. But I do a lot of I do a lot of long form content, right? So that's all me. So when I do long form videos, my thoughts or legal breakdowns or whatever, those are all solo for the most part. Although I have a Custody Queens appearance where I appeared with the Custody Queens. We may be premiering that soon, but I appreciate the kind words. Hopefully my panel doesn't take an offense by that. Like, hey, how come you don't go by yourself? Your panel sucks ass. I don't think that's what they're trying to say, but I do still do solo work. I just don't do solo lives because I can't fucking carry an audience solo live. For some reason, I don't know what the difference. Well, no, I do know what the difference is. Live audiences are very different than long form content. So long form content, people expect sometimes to learn something new, deep dive on a long form video. But when they come to a live, they expect to be entertained. And I'm not an entertainment show per se. So I'm kind of like an analytical guy. And I've been told people don't sign up to watch a live to have like deep thoughts, I guess what they say. That's what they say. So I feel like I need to have the banter to keep it exciting.
You are much more entertaining than you give yourself credit for. Oh my God.
I think you're
charging you the damn tip, the jar, negativity jar has got to be up to about, I don't know what now.
Yeah. I think you're pretty damn entertaining.
Yep.
Well, when I'm with people, I'm more entertaining. I enjoy bantering with people. Another live.
And you still haven't shown the video of you pulling into MPD parking lot.
I know. I've got it. I just can't fucking find that. It's the hardest thing ever. I need to send you the file and have you scrub it and see if you can find it because I can't fucking find it. It drives me insane.
You don't have it like from the. Do you remember which night it was that we?
That's
did
what I'm
that?
trying. I don't remember. I think it was the first night we were there. I think it was. Thank you, one and only Mark, for saying that I'm a great speaker. I appreciate that very much. it's
yes, they come here to
that.
hear our thoughts. So I feel that we're very entertaining, whether we're educating or so yeah. See, everyone look at the chat.
Yeah, so Grammy T says, was it on a live? I think JJ and I were live when we were doing live streaming when we pulled into the weren't we live
members
streaming?
live.
Yeah,
and
we
they
were
pulled into the freaking.
So in that regards, maybe I don't even have to go back to get the original footage. I did because with the members only live is still probably available on the members only area. So I just need to scrub.
Yeah, it's in the members only. Yeah. All you gotta do is pull that up, and that was great. We laughed so hard.
Yeah, that was classic, man. That whole trip was pretty classic. That night was one of the funniest things ever, though.
My favorite though was you guys trying to set up your freaking camera, and everything kept falling the hell over. And yeah, so the
birdseed camera. Oh my God, the birdseed camera. Yeah.
The birdseed camera. Yeah, but you guys were in your hotel room, and you were trying to set up to do a members only live. You
Yeah.
couldn't get the laptop situated. Your phone kept falling over.
And I might have been a little few sheets to the wind on that night, which is
Yeah,
another reason
we
why.
were
To the
drinking
wind on that
box
one.
Yeah, box
wine.
wine. We got box wine, and we had probably had a few too many of the box wine.
Well,
It was not my
what
finest look, I'll tell you that much.
what happened
Oh my
is
God.
there was a problem at first with the Wi-Fi. We were going to do it from DA's computer. He had all the setup and everything. And for some reason, the hotel he couldn't get onto the hotel Wi-Fi, even though we were supposed to have the Wi-Fi. So I set
Yeah.
up my computer, and we're on this like little desk, and shit's falling over, and it was not pretty.
it was sometimes that's the best when things go off the rails. One of the funniest
Jamie
lives ever
Jamie says
watched.
that was one of the funniest lives she's ever watched.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
You guys were like, oh my, I don't know.
And to be
should
fair,
we go to bed?
I was not.
And
I was
JJ,
not. Sorry, go ahead.
Lee's like, oh, we should probably go to bed. And JJ's like, no, man, there's people in the chat. Don't go to bed.
We were
Well,
not
I was
drinking
pretty
and driving that
buzzed. We were both pretty buzzed. We were pounding that box wine, let me tell you.
night. Yeah, for sure. I think it was, we had done the driving into the parking lot before the box wine event, so I don't think we were out there like driving on the city streets. I hammered.
No, we were
Oh,
back at the
yeah.
room.
And
Thanks for the e-bike.
Yep,
The
that's
e-bike
another
adventure
classic.
was hilarious as well. Yeah, it's funny. We've shown the e-bike multiple times because it's easy for me to find, but not so easy for me to find the Moscow Police Department pull in.
Oh my God. Yep. Read the chat, Joe. Well, oh my God. We were all screaming.
Oh,
at
that
you.
was that
We're
night.
like
That was that
giving
night.
you-
Read your chat, Joe.
Oh my God. We're giving you all kinds of research. Like a bunch of us were researching the stuff you guys are asking for. We're like, read the chat. We're telling you what you want to know.
Oh, I was struggling, man. I'm trying to like pay attention to the chat, deal with the camera. Yeah, it wasn't one of my finer moments, but I got through it.
And then you're bitching at DA about his phone. Meanwhile, it's an S23 Ultra.
Well, you know what it is?
This has got to be an ancient phone. I'm like, it's not ancient.
The
not ancient.
lights were at night, and for some reason it was the camera settings were washing out. Any light was like washing out the lens. And I didn't know how to change the settings on his phone. I didn't want to start messing with it. So, but it was funnier to just shit on his camera.
Yeah. And normally I don't let you. That was a high privilege. I don't usually let anybody touch my phone because of the shit that you could find on my phone. Like I would have to like erase my phone before I feel comfortable giving my phone to somebody. Usually.
I saw it all, dude.
Yeah.
I know your secrets.
He's CIA, I mean,
right.
You probably just cloned your phone.
All right. Any last questions before we wrap up for the night? And by the way, since we've been online, my viewer count on the Alt channel, the Beyond channel, has gone up by almost 10. So thank you guys for going over there and subscribing to that channel. It'd be nice to get that channel up to the 1,000, but that's a long. Like I remember that slog the first time. It was horrendous. I'm trying not to pretend about looking at the numbers all the time. Although it should be faster this time. If people like this channel, they should check out that channel too.
Look at that. Christine,
don't leave at the 2-hour mark.
2-hour mark.
I feel so low key though. I feel like I'm just dragging ass. I don't want to drag ass all night long.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, you've had a long day. Yeah. Looks like Rhonda's in the chat. She you couldn't unsee some of the things. State of the Deep. Yeah, exactly. See, Rhonda knows my phone. She's like, don't look at Lee's phone.
She knows where all the bodies are buried.
I gotta share this last thing about today though.
Yeah.
All right. This is the part I left out, but it's really funny in a way, so I'm gonna share it. So they finally get the bike going. And I'm getting my gear on. I'm getting ready to go. It's a small bike, right? And I have a backpack, right? Because I stayed overnight. That's packed with tons of shit. So I take my rain gear because I'm going to hit storms. I know the weather is going to be bad on my way back. So I put my rain gear, my rain suit on top of my tail bag, and I strap it on there so I could easily get it if I have to pull over and put the rain gear on.
Yeah.
Well, my backpack, because this bike's a lot smaller than the other bike that I had, was pushing the rain gear off. So I get to the place, my next stop, and my pants for my rain gear are gone. And my rain jacket is hanging over the back wheel. So now it's like 90 degrees out, but I'm going to hit storms shortly. I go back, looked for it on the road, no sight of my rain pants. Now I'm going to be riding for 3 hours through the mountains where it's going to be shitty weather. So I had to go back and spend $75 on a new rain suit.
Wow.
From the dealership. So it was just, oh, dude, it's one of those days, man. Whenever stuff gets off on the wrong foot,
it makes it exhausting.
It throws your mojo off.
Yeah, my mojo is off right now. Open Your Mind 68 says, so what are you expecting from CrimeCon now that the book Interview has come out, along with the new DNA lab? So it's kind of funny. I saw somebody had posted a new post from the Gonzalez family on the Gonzalez family Facebook page that indicated for the first time, possibly, they said that they were going to talk about, so it was clear that they're going to talk, Christy and Steve Gonzalez are going to talk about the YouTube community from the main stage, right? So they're going to get there, and I assume that's going to be shitting all over people like myself.
Yeah.
But they're going on with another person, and they said they're going to talk about the true crime community, both both good and bad. So I was kind of surprised that they had something good to say about the true crime community, but then I realized I forgot that they like a certain YouTube creator that's all shitting all over all of us. So maybe that will be the person they talk about who's doing the right thing and shitting all over all of us. So I don't know. What I expect is I'm still holding out that there might be some major development before CrimeCon, and it's going to be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how to. I think it's going to. First of all, last year's CrimeCon was an Authorm Labs sellathon. It was all about celebrating Authorm Labs and how they're at the forefront of solving every cold case in America. And then the next best thing is sliced bread. And everybody wants to know how can we give more money to Authorm Labs. I feel it's going to be more of that same thing. It's going to be a promotional vehicle for Authorm Labs. It's going to be a promotional vehicle for the new foundation for the Gonzalez's, and that's what everything's going to be centered around that. Everything that they do will probably be hinting more about support Authorm Labs. Support the Stephen Christie Gonzalez Foundation. I forgot what the name of it is. The Kaylee Gonzalez Foundation. They called it something else. I forgot what it was. It's got a weird name. No, something about a name, no name, or no name left on, or I can't remember.
Maybe I should do my public service announcement for Authorm Labs.
Oh, yeah, we'll do it for you. City Sue says you're very personable. People like you guys. There are no stupid questions here. Everyone is treated with respect, and that matters. Thank you. I do want us to be very respectful. I will disagree with some of you've seen me get kind of like disagreeing with people in the chat or in questions, but I try to do it respectfully. I think there's nothing wrong with asking respectful questions. So yeah.
This is a good point.
There wouldn't be Cynthia Rose says there would be no CrimeCon and their overpriced tickets if it wasn't for YouTube creators. I agree.
Bingo.
I feel like in the next year or two, CrimeCon's gonna have to start incorporating more YouTubers into their show, or they're gonna be in trouble. But that could be me. They've been doing it for quite a long time, but I feel like YouTube is becoming the new. What Christopher Wickham called it the new era. We're starting to refer to mainstream media now as legacy media. They're the old way of doing things. The new way is now things like YouTube. They're going to have to embrace it at some point. Murder has had a name. That's what it was. That's the foundation for the Gonzalez's. Yeah.
They want to keep us lowlives out of there.
Yeah, Murder has a name.
Jack the prices up.
Right. And look, I applied, by the way, for those who don't know, CrimeCon every year has a, would you like to be a guest speaker or and I've thrown my hat in the ring 2 years in a row. The first time I did it, I think I only had like 4,000 people that watched my show. And now I have 15,000, but they're still not interested because it's primarily a pro law enforcement venue. But what a great opportunity it would be for this to have a counter opinion, because a lot of this is going to be the YouTubers suck ass. Wouldn't it be nice if they actually allowed a YouTuber to come up and defend the YouTube true crime community? That would be nice.
And I'm going to do something that I don't typically do, but we are so close to hitting 16,000 subscribers. We're like, maybe like 58 people away. So if you're not subbed to the channel, please subscribe. We're almost at 16,000 subscribers. So first of all, thank you guys very, very much for being subs. Thank you for, liking the videos and sharing them and so forth. But yeah, so we're so close to 16K.
We are pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. Yeah. Pretty close. So yeah, that'd be great. I would love to push over the. I mean, it's just a number at the end of the day, but those numbers are cool. I like to see those numbers. It gives us more credibility later when we go to CrimeCon next year. But like, hey, we keep growing, and you still keep ignoring us.
Yeah.
So, what else? Any other questions coming in here? I'm assuming Authorm Labs have identified over 450 bodies from old cases and helped over 300 cases identify the perp. Yeah. I'm not saying that they don't do good things. I'm not saying they don't do good things, but I also feel like there's some fuckery.
Was it the right perp, though? That's the question.
That's the question. Right. Thank you, by the way.
That's the question.
Oh, there you go. Gifting memberships. Thank you so much for gifting memberships. Appreciate that very much. And again, remember, for those who want to know what I've written to Koberger, I've written a lot of letters to Koberger. You can see that they are not creepy love letters or some shit like that. Read my letters. And by the way, I the videos how I change my approach to Koberger as the time goes by. And I'm like, okay, well, that didn't work. Let's try this. So I try different things to try to get some kind of connection going. But
so let's see. We have pretty much at 4 a.m. R. Slayton, Ray Jones, and LJ NY8MR, and Deanna Vasquez. They all received memberships. So congrats.
Yeah.
And Love Tina 2010 says, looking forward to the next case, our next case, whenever. So I would love, we want to be known as a true crime channel, not an Idaho 4 channel.
Yes.
And it has been difficult because I thought we had some really good content on the Richard Allen, Delphi, Indiana case. We've had some good information on Luigi Mangione. We had good information on Rex Heuermann, and none of them hit. The only time we ever hit that, well, we did have a monster. The biggest monster video we've ever had on this channel, by the way, was actually the Kirk assassination when it first happened, because it was so huge when it first happened. So anyways, but the point being is that that we want to be covering a lot of different cases, and I'm hoping that people will resonate with us in the way we cover cases, not just Idaho 4. Right now it feels like YouTube knows that people watch us because we're Idaho 4, and that's it. Like, so we're trying to train the algorithm that we're more than just Idaho 4. Thank you very much, Don Caps, for saying that we did good, even though I have low energy. Appreciate that. Bear Hiss says, why does it seem that no one with YouTube channels have discussed seeing the crime footage on Banfield? What do you guys think? I'm genuinely curious. I've just found it yesterday. So crime footage on if you're talking about the Banfield stop, we've covered it quite a bit. What do you mean by crime footage on Banfield? I'm curious what you mean by that. So we have covered.
Yeah, a lot of YouTubers have covered it.
Well, he said
we haven't talked about it for a little while.
Yeah, and is it Banfield or Banfield? I'm assuming they're talking about the same thing.
I think they mean the Banfield footage.
Yeah.
Not Ashley Banfield.
And we have, and a lot of channels have covered it, and we have also covered it.
Yes.
This channel haven't covered as much as other channels, but we've covered it before here too.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with that footage. That's for sure. Cool. There's a lot that is still unexplained about all that footage.
Primarily the timing and where the undercover car was at and where it was parked and its relation to 1122 King Road residence and all that shit is very, 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 very intriguing. Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second time somebody said something like this before. You should have over 100,000 K or 100,000 subscribers. I so appreciate. We hear that all the time. Like, it's one of the weirdest things people say. They're like, "How is your channel not bigger?" And I don't know. Like, it is what it is. Like, I guess I don't know what the answer is. But a lot of people are nice, kind to us. I guess the people who like our channel think that it should be bigger than it is. But yeah, for some reason it just doesn't seem to really take off. So it is what it is.
we're trying to get this. We're
We are
waiting.
with the AVL. We are, and that's part of the big letter they're ignoring. I really should have broken the letter up into two different letters, because one part of the letter is asking about the master services agreement and the confirmation of what patrol was on, and then the other part of the same letter is asking for the AVL data. Maybe I should have broken it into two, but either way, they're just completely ignoring that letter, and they shouldn't. So that's a problem. We may have to sue to get them to respond to it. And that sucks, because what I don't want to find out is we sue and then they just finally respond to it after we sued, which costs us money. Because if we're going to have to sue, then I feel like they should have to pay us back for having to sue. But that comment went away before I could read it. So I don't know if that was important to read or not, but I didn't catch it.
No.
Okay. Oh, shit. My wife's like, CrimeCon should be fun. I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut. Is my wife going to be one of those people that's like, hey, you motherfucker, you can't do shit. My boyfriend will kick your ass. And I'll be like, God damn it, woman. Don't get me in a fight because you fucking run your mouth. We'll see. Nyanya Gagos. I keep pronouncing that name. You stay with facts.
Nene.
Weird. Nene. God, see, thank you. It's not that hard to read. Why? You know what it is? I'm squinting. My eyes are like not focused tonight. But thank you so much I do try to stay with the facts as much as possible. I'm sure I get facts wrong for sure, but appreciate that very much. All right, we are at that magical 2-hour mark where it's usually time that we close. I want to give opportunity to say thank you all for watching the show and for being regular people that come. We see regular names all the time and new names all the time. Thank you so much. We are super close to hitting 16,000. So if like Robin said, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so now, because it really was cool to keep inflating the number. I love that kind of stuff. I also have the Devil's Advocates Beyond channel. JJ has a channel as well. State of the Deep on YouTube. Robin also has a YouTube channel as well. What's the full name of that one again? It's got a longer name. Right?
It's just Indigenous Justice, and it's dealing with missing and murdered Indigenous people, especially women and children. So
make sure
our new video will be out hopefully Wednesday. Last week when we recorded, it sounded like the Grand Canyon in the so we had to hurry up and get some decent mics and that kind of thing. So we wanted to sound really good, because there's nothing worse than bad audio when you're trying to watch a video.
I know. I'm constantly trying to improve our setup here. So hopefully it's not as easy as it looks for those people who say, oh, if Lee can do it, anybody can do it. I get that. Oh, it's like one of the biggest pet peeves I have. Oh, I didn't know it was so easy to do YouTube. If you're doing it, I should do it. I'm like, motherfucker, if you think this is easy, you got another thing coming. This ain't easy. Anyways, I thank you so much for everybody coming tonight. It has been great. Thanks, JJ, for making it to the show, even though you had a huge day with your bike. I hope you enjoy your bike and get out there as soon as you can and enjoy it. That sounds super awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I made it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yay. That's awesome. I envy you on having a new toy. I love new toys. All right.
Yeah, it's good times. I appreciate you guys bringing me up. I'm glad I got to say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again, not tomorrow night, because we take Sundays off now, at least for a while. We might resume the Sunday Crimes After Dark show, Sunday edition. But at the moment, it's on temporary hiatus until we figure some shit out. And we're taking the break as good. We've been at this every single night, every night of the week for a long time. And having a night off for all of us is, I think, good for mental health. So thank you so much. We'll see you on Monday. And by the way, keep an eye, as I'm saying goodbye, keep an eye out for the Custody Queens and I. We did a pre-recorded show. They're going to premiere it either Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not sure what day. They're going to let me know ahead of time. We'll try to advertise it. So it may be, if they do it all of a sudden on Monday, that I won't even have a chance to tell you about it again. So pay attention to the Custody Queens. We have a premiere of our interview with 2 hours talking about Christopher Whitcomb and Dr. Turvey and the interviews that we've all done, and what we think about it together as a group now that they're not in front of us. So we just kind of talked bluntly, like, well, what did you think about Turvey's answer? What did you think about Whitcomb's answer? Good stuff. I think you'll enjoy it. Have a great night, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.